Voiceless Voice is the newest ritual-based archetype in Yu-Gi-Oh! Debuting in Phantom Nightmare. It is currently one of, if not the best deck, this format post-April 2024 ban list. What's going on YouTube? This is Ram 15 Arsenal, back with another video, and today we'll be discussing how to beat Voiceless. Now, in this video we'll be covering their typical end board, some of the positives with the deck, as well as the most optimal hand traps, board breakers, going first options, as well as going second options you can use against this matchup. So let's start with their typical end board. Now, as you can see in the diagram, the typical end board consists of a Skull Guardian on board, which is an omni-negate long as they have a low on the field or in the graveyard, a Barrier, which is a battle or target protection card, Radiance, which is a on-field pop, and a Seravis in hand, as well as a Seravis on board, the ritual one being in hand and the Seravis from Voiceless Voice being on board, which sets up a summon negate. Now, to get to this board very consistently turn one and have plenty of recursion, as well as minimum extra deck requirements and a lot of non-engine space, so be aware of hand traps, etc. Now, moving on to hand traps, starting with Ash Blossom. It is very good in this matchup, as you can target Low, Saphir, Pre-Prep, Nadir, Servant, etc. Veiler Imperm not bad either, as you can target Diviner and Low. Mourner is a little bit more shaky, as it strictly requires special summon monsters to be targeted. And also keep in mind, what makes these cards a little bit weaker is because they have to deal with target protection from Barrier. Droll is also alright depending on the hand they have. If it's a heavy searching hand, Droll is pretty solid. If not, then it can be a little shaky. DD Crow and Bestials are gods in this matchup, as you can target Low in the graveyard, Prayers with DD Crow, Diviner on a terrorist play. Shifter is immediately a godsend for this matchup, as it is a turn skip. Ghost Bell and Skullmeister are also really good, as they can target the Saphira, Nadir Servant, Pre-Prep, Radiance, and Dino Mundo. And Ghost Ogre is pretty okay as well, as it can hit their Radiance as well as their Barrier, but it cannot do it on initial activation, so keep that in mind. Moving on to board breakers, Lightning Storm and Harpy Featherduster are your best bet in this matchup, as you can clear out all the back row, including the Radiance and the Barrier. You just first have to bait the Skull Guardian negate. Evilly Match isn't bad either, basically does the same thing, but keep in mind, again, you have to bait the Skull Guardian. Darkhold and Regeki surprisingly aren't too bad either, but there are better options. However, this one allows you to shut off the Radiance. Cosmics and MSTs are solid 1-for-1s with the back row, and the Triple Ts are always recommended. Now, moving on to the going first options, some of these are very dependent on the deck you're playing, but some of the ones that I recommend that are universal are D-Barrier, Anti-Spell, and Rivalry of the Warlords. With D-Barrier, you obviously just call rituals, and the only problem with Anti-Spell and Rivalry of the Warlords, they're both at 1. Now, for my other recommendations, it depends on the deck you're playing, because I highly recommend Skill Drain, D-Fissure, and Macro if you can play them, as these all heavily hinder the Voiceless Voice deck. And finally, if you're going second options, I honestly recommend using hand traps instead of these, but Droplets, Dark Luna Moore, and Super Poly all serve the same purpose of basically just answering the front row or the monster side of the deck, but you have to keep in mind that you just have to battle through possible hand traps and Radiance on board. But along with the hand traps, I also highly recommend Lava Golem in this matchup. Yes, it sounds crazy, but you can simply tribute the Skull Guardian and the Seravis without having any problems with them, and it shuts off the Radiance as well. The only issue is I don't know if this is viable in other matchups. But guys, that's gonna wrap it up for this video. If there's anything I missed out on, or any other suggestions you guys have for how to beat Voiceless Voice, leave in the comment section below. As always, remember to like, share, comment, subscribe, and tell your friends about this. It's been Ram 15 Arsenal signing out. Peace and have a great day.